Hello, good morning guys. How are you all today? This is your boy Jithin here. I'm back again with a wonderful bike. One of my brother. He's actually the owner of this Pride bike. So he's the best guy here. His name is Prasanth. He's owning two bike here. One is this BMW Adventure Sport 750, right? No, this is 700, and he's having
800 actually.
800 cc. Yes. Sorry, okay. Because the same one we having in India as a 350. I have ride 350. I didn't ride the above cc bikes of this category. So and he's owning one more bike which is
Triumph Commander Thunderbird.
Okay, which you recently took.
Yeah.
So did you go for any rides or something?
Yes, the weekend ride I went for the group Tribe.
Okay, okay.
I'm a part of Tribe.
Yeah. As you all know, he's also from the Tribe Club. You guys might be wondering every time he's saying Tribe Club. Yeah, there's hundreds of riders. Actually, many people are joining recently. I think one of the H2 who bought a new H2, they are also joining to the club. Every day new riders are coming. It is getting big. If you haven't seen their videos, if you haven't seen their photos, if you haven't followed them, please do follow them. I'll put their link also, their Instagram link as well as the YouTube link in the description below.
We're actually one of the biggest Indian riding clubs in Qatar.
Yes, and it is an international, so you guys have gone for the Kardungla Pass and all.
Yes.
We
have our folks who go into the European rides. Then we have people who go to the Bhutan rides. In fact, we are planning one ride in coming May. Like around 10 to 15 of our guys, we're going to Bhutan.
Okay.
And yeah, we are actually one of the active motorcycle clubs in Qatar.
Yes. When we look at a bike, it's very, we will be first going to its specs, like what is the power of the engine, the torque, the suspensions, its comfortness, and other details like the cruise controls, etc. We all wanted to know that. So without delay, let's get back to it and let us know from the owner itself what are its, prior or the best features of the bike.
This is an adventure sport like you mentioned.
Yeah.
The GS models basically are designed with torque in mind. They're not designed for speed. Basically the agility and the power and performance that it displays on-road and off-road.
Okay.
This basically is the F700 GS.
Okay.
Very misleading name for an 800cc bike.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out around 75 horsepower and around 77 Newton meters of torque.
Okay.
The reason why the adventure sport models are more torque based is because you don't want. I mean, basically the design itself it's not designed for speed. It's with agility. When you go off road, you need you need tons of torque to churn the machine and maneuver it through all the dirt and tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the bike is all about. Then as far as the suspension goes, like you were mentioning, it's got basically an electronically controlled suspension. Like you have three different modes.
Okay.
You have the comfort, you have the normal mode and the sport mode.
Can you show switches as well in the side? Say.
Okay.
You don't just.
This is basically a switching.
Okay.
And based on this, every time you click onto this, you can disable the ABS.
Okay.
That's the top side of it.
Okay.
The bottom side of the switch is basically the suspension. You can see the shock absorber sign here.
Mm-hmm.
So the number of times you click it, you have the display that changes into economy. I mean into comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Right now it's not started. Wait.
Okay.
All right. So if you want to come this side.
Okay. No, it's okay.
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 So you see this ESA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's electronic suspension adjustment.
Okay.
Now it's on normal mode.
Okay.
You can change it into sport mode. Or you can, like, 1 minute. Yeah. See, now you can see that's in sport mode.
Okay.
Yeah. you can change it into comfort, and then you can change it into normal mode as well. Now what happens is, every time you change this, the suspension setting automatically changes. That's the pneumatic suspension, the air suspension. So every time you change the setting, the computer automatically adjusts the damping and the rebound accordingly.
Okay.
So that's what suspension, like, when you want a very
only the rear,
yes.
Only the rear suspension.
Yeah, only the rear suspension, because that's where most of the load of the adventure bike goes to.
Okay. So I think have you tried any off-ride or off-roads, any adventures or
Basically, it's funny that I picked up an off-road bike and I have not tried it. I mean, the baby is so comfortable that I don't really feel like pushing and punishing her.
Okay.
It's designed for it, but apparently
no. Because why I asked, because you haven't changed the tires. Because those who take the adventure sports, what they do, first thing they'll do is that they'll change the tires.
They'll change the tires into dirt tires.
Yes.
But apparently, dirt tires are not very comfortable on the street. And
because I think you're going for ride also, it's not convenient every time you can.
Exactly. I use it mostly in the cities and long rides. And the other thing is, like, I have a car, but apparently for winter, through this 3 months, I take my bike to meetings. I'm basically into business development, so I have client meetings as well. And still, I love going in a bike.
So, ride in style.
Ride in style, yes. Ride in style, ride in comfort. And then who wants to miss this wonderful weather?
Yes.
It's a lovely
so,
weather.
Guys, there are so many fans for this ride in style, okay? So, the people over here, actually the bikers, they are not, speed thrillers. They're actually like ride in style. Because you guys met the other two bikers also. They were also saying that they like to come in style, ride in style. So, same thing applies here also. He also likes ride in style.
Dual channel ABS, both in the front and the rear.
Okay.
The front is managed by double discs, and the rear is managed by single disc.
Okay.
And the other function which the bike takes is basically, I mean, there's quite a lot of lists to tell. One of the major safety features which I found with this bike, a little different from the rest, is the hazards. Like most of the bikes, when you park it, you don't have the dual hazards. Like, you want to park it on the side. In this one, you have the dual hazards, and anytime you park on the side, like just like a car, if you want to have both indicators on and showing people
the hazard light.
Yes, showing people that there's somebody who's standing here. Normally for bikers, the only other option is you put the indicator opposite to the lane that you're standing, and then you park.
Because this is coming in stock for the BMW, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because even I have experienced that many of the bikes are not coming with the hazard light, because this is very important.
I don't understand why bikers don't need a hazard light.
That's what.
In fact, bikers need it more. BMW, on the other hand, has also got, I mean, they put some quite thoughtful things into the bike. Another thing which I really liked when I picked up this bike is the tire pressure sensors. When the bike is running, in fact, that's the only thing that I've actually kept on the display. In the info display, you can show the mileage right now, the distance to empty, and all these things, information. But the one that I prefer to keep it on the screen is basically the tire pressure monitor, where, like, when you're riding, at any point in time, it has an active interaction portal wherein, like, you can see what is the active tire pressure in both your tires.
So guys, let's get back to the bike. So this is our FGS Adventure Sport. Look how gorgeous she is. She is not.
That's the usual reference of a bike.
Yeah, so I was asking him whether I can call the bike she or him. So he preferred she.
No,
yes?
the reason is very simple, because all bikers call the bikes as she, because you have a love for it.
Okay.
The kind of connection between the rider and the bike, it's so intense that is very, very close to what you feel to your lover. That's the connection.
Okay. Any name? You have kept any name for her?
Not really.
No, really, you sure?
Because every time I sell a bike, then I'll have to divorce. Heartbreaking. None of this is displaying because this is basically the tire pressure for the front and the back.
Okay.
It does not show anything in the starting. Even if you start on the bike, okay, even if you fire her up to life, it will not show right now, because you'll have to move the bike. Once the bike gets into 30 kilometers per hour, that's when the module inside the tires. There are actually the tire pressure modules inside each tire, which connects automatically with the master console. And once it crosses 30 kilometers is when it starts sending information.
Okay.
So right now it will only show us 2 bars. The moment I'll definitely take a ride after this, and then I'll show you what the tire pressure here is.
Okay.
The one below is basically is the one which shows the temperature.
Okay.
Which do I fire up?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Neutral.
Okay, so that displays the
Temperature. Okay.
and then you have other information which is like the distance to empty, and then you have the average mileage, and this shows basically into the miles section.
Hope you guys can see, because the climate, I told you, it is changing and the sun is like coming out, moving out. I mean coming in, moving out. Okay.
And then you have the other information like what the mileage of the bike, I mean how much run it is, and then foot meter, 2 foot meters, and battery this one. And then you have the clock in case if you are to move to sport.
Okay.
So that's about it.
So there is a ton of informations in the cluster itself. As he already told, if we have the tire pressure, that means you can imagine what all things are there, what all things BMW has put in this. And if you go on explaining, I think this day won't be enough. So let's keep that aside. And shall we hear the exhaust now?
Yeah, she's not loud. She's
Okay.
Like,
So guys, this is an adventure sport. Don't expect that broom broom loud sound. Okay, but still it's quite loud.
I've had Harleys, and my Triumph makes much better sound.
Yes.
BMWs are not designed for sound.
No.
It sings.
Yes.
Tire pressure monitor is good.
Okay.
Due to the lack of safety gear, we are not going out.
Yes.
We will have to
So
go-
guys, the thing is that we are not going for a long ride because I don't have any safety gears right now. Maximum torque she can produce
77 Newton meters.
77 Nm. So are you getting that first throttle response? I mean.
Of course, yes. The first time I took her and I was in the signal, pretty excited
Okay.
to move from a cruiser. I had a Harley Davidson before.
Yeah.
To move to a cruiser, from a cruiser into an adventure sport, I was like very thrilled. And the moment the light went green, I throttled up. The first thing I could realize is the front went up.
Trend right up.
I'm not a wheelie guy,
Okay.
so was a wee bit scary for me. Ever since I managed the accelerator in a much better way.
Yeah. Okay.
So I know that the front doesn't go flying, and she can do that like a breeze.
Oh sure.
It's very easy.
If anybody wants to try this, please try in this bike, because I haven't seen anybody doing wheelie on this the Adventure Tourer. Might be, but not popular, not so much popular.
Man, you guys, you've got guys doing wheelie on Harley Davidson Ultra Glide. And all these things.
Yes, exactly.
The huge big bore bikes, people can do it. The wheelie guys can literally lift off the front of anything.
Yes.